Imagine finishing a season 5-11. Frustration everywhere. And the fanbase begging for change. Now picture a front office trying to clean up its past mistakes, re-sign key players, and fix the foundation, all in one wild offseason. This is the true story of the Bucs' 2018 turning point. The bold moves, the broken contracts, the heartbreaks, and the hope. In 2017, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finished 5-11, a rough season that left fans disappointed and hungry for answers. The pressure was building on general manager Jason Licht, and the 2018 offseason was his chance to prove he could steer the team in the right direction. But did he fix it? Well, it's complicated. Let's start with the players who were let go, the ones the team gave up on. First up was Chris Baker. Tampa Bay had signed him hoping he'd bring strength to the defensive line, but it never worked out. He lasted only one season before getting cut. Honestly, that signing was a disaster. A big mistake. I'd give it a flat-out F grade. Jason Licht had already been struggling with former Bengals players Anthony Collins, Michael Johnson, and now Baker. None of them worked out. It was a pattern, and it hurt. Then came the release of Doug Martin, once seen as the franchise's top running back. Just a couple years before, he had been handed a big contract extension. Now, he was gone. I give that move a C grade. I get it, Martin was incredibly inconsistent, and the Bucs needed to free up cap space. Still, when he was at his best, he was electric. He remains one of the best running backs in modern Bucs history, and as a fan, it was hard to see him go. But maybe it was time. Next was Robert Ayers, another veteran cut from the team. I'd give that decision a C+. It made sense from a financial standpoint, but they never truly found a solid replacement. Ayers wasn't a superstar, but he brought experience and grit. At least he's back with the Bucs now, not as a player, but as an assistant coach. And that's pretty cool. Charles Sims was also let go, marking another big change in the running back room. Pair that with Martin's exit, and the message was clear. The Bucs were starting over at running back. I give the Sims release a C++. Sims had been a serviceable player, but the Bucs were shifting to Peyton Barber, who was beginning to emerge as their new lead back. Now, let's talk about re-signings, the players who got another shot in pewter and red. Ryan Fitzpatrick returned on a one-year, $3.3 million deal. That's a solid move. Grade B. Fitz was never supposed to be the full-time starter, but he was a capable backup. When called upon, he had his highs and lows, classic Fitzmagic moments, and also some tough games. At the time, he was still a reliable safety net behind Jameis Winston. Then came the huge one. Mike Evans signed a 5-year, $82.5 million extension. No doubt about it, a plus grade. Mike was, and still is, one of the greatest wide receivers in Bucs history. That deal locked him in for the long haul, and he never stopped delivering. Cameron Brate also got paid, a 6-year, $40.8 million deal. I give that a B. It was an awesome moment for Brate, who had gone from undrafted to earning a massive contract. But in the later years of that deal, his performance started to decline, and fans began to question whether the Bucs had overpaid. Early on, though, he was still a strong part of the offense. Veteran cornerback Brent Grimes was brought back on a 1-year, $7 million deal. That gets a B too. Grimes had been reliable, but you could tell his skills were starting to fade. This would end up being his final year in the NFL. He gave everything he had, and fans appreciated him for it. There were also a few quiet but smart re-signings. Adam Humphries, a dependable receiver and clutch third-down guy. Peyton Barber, their new starting RB, ready to carry the load. Keith Tandy, a key special teams contributor. Will Clark, a solid rotational piece on the D-line. All of those moves together? Grade B, not flashy, but smart. But one loss really stung: Clinton McDonald, the defensive tackle. He left in free agency, and honestly, that one hurt. I give it a D. McDonald was the kind of guy you didn't always talk about, but you felt his absence. Over 4 years with the Bucs, he racked up 13.5 sacks and gave everything he had. After leaving Tampa, he played 2 more seasons in Oakland and Arizona. But man, he should have stayed in Tampa longer. Big loss. Sometimes, the right move can spark a franchise, but when you miss, it can haunt you for years. The Bucs' 2018 free agency and draft were a mixed bag, full of wasted contracts, painful busts, but also the first signs of a culture shift that would eventually lead to glory. Some signings flopped hard, but 2 moves changed everything. Rewritten script Section 2. The Bucs didn't just sign players in 2018, they rolled the dice. One of the quietest moves of that offseason didn't even show up on most reports, but it deserves to be mentioned first. Mitch Onrein. Tampa gave him a 3-year, $10.5 million deal. And he never played a single snap. Not one. Due to injury, Onrein never suited up and would later be forced into medical retirement. Grade F. It wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was dead money. A painful reminder that not every deal brings results. Next up, Bo Allen. Signed to a 3-year, $15 million contract, Allen was brought in to plug gaps left by other departures like Clinton McDonald. While Allen wasn't a dominant force, he was dependable, a blue-collar, lunch pail type of defensive lineman. Nothing flashy, but never terrible. Grade C+. He stuck around, finished his career in Tampa, and gave everything he had. Respectable. Then, things got shaky again. Kicker Chandler Catanzaro was signed for 3 years at nearly $10 million. That's a lot of money for a kicker, and he didn't even last a full season. His field goal percentage was just 73.3%. That's way below what you need in the NFL. Sure, he hit a few memorable kicks, but the misses were unforgettable too. Grade F. It wasn't just a failed signing. It was a complete meltdown and another reminder that the Bucs had a serious kicking curse at the time. But not everything was a loss. Ryan Jensen, signed to a 4-year, $42 million deal, was a home run addition. Grade A. This guy came in and immediately set the tone. Nasty, physical, fearless. A center with swagger, Jensen became the rock of the offensive line. He would go on to make a Pro Bowl and, more importantly, become a crucial piece of the future Super Bowl team. Out of all the signings in 2018, Jensen was by far the best. Vinny Curry, though, not so much. The Bucs gave him a 3-year, $23 million deal, and he was gone after 1 season. He went back to the Eagles and later the Jets. Grade D. Another big contract, another short stay. The pattern continued. Big money spent. Little to show. But then came a move that shifted the future. The big trade. Jason Pierre-Paul. The Bucs sent their 3rd-round pick 69 and 4th-round pick 108 in the 2018 draft to the New York Giants in exchange for Jason Pierre-Paul and pick 102. The picks they gave up turned into B.J. Hill and Kyle Lauletta. What did the Bucs get in return? They got JPP, a warrior, a leader, a culture changer. Grade A+. JPP immediately transformed Tampa's defense. He became the perfect partner for Gerald McCoy, a mentor for young defenders, and a spark of toughness this team desperately needed. He brought energy, grit, and 12.5 sacks in his first year alone. His arrival, along with Jensen's, signaled a shift in identity. The Bucs weren't trying to survive anymore. They were ready to fight. The 2018 NFL Draft, the trade that changed everything. It started with a bold trade down. The Bucs traded their 7 overall pick, which became QB Josh Allen, and pick 255 to the Bills in exchange for pick 12, 53, and 56. That's a major haul. Grade A+. Dropping down just 5 spots and gaining 2 second-rounders gave Tampa a ton of flexibility. Sure, they missed on Josh Allen, who's now a superstar in Buffalo, but they weren't looking for a quarterback in that draft. Instead, they focused on building their trenches. With pick 12, they selected Vita V, a massive and dominant nose tackle. Grade A. V has quietly become one of the most underrated players in the entire league. He's a mountain in the middle, constantly collapsing pockets, freeing up edge rushers, and stuffing the run. Fans in Tampa know his value, but nationally, he's still slept on. Round 2, Ronald Jones. With the 38th overall pick, the Bucs drafted Ronald Jones, the flashy USC running back. Grade C+. At the time, they had just moved on from Doug Martin and Charles Sims. Peyton Barber was still around, and the backfield needed new life. Rojo had speed and promise, but struggled under head coach Dirk Koetter. His real improvement came later, under Bruce Arians. He wasn't a bust, but he wasn't the star they hoped he'd be. At least not right away. All right, Bucs fans, time to weigh in. Was Jason Pierre-Paul the most important pickup of the decade? Did passing on Josh Allen hurt, or did Vita V make up for it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, give your grades for the 2018 free agency and draft. This was the offseason where the Bucs started to change who they were. Some moves failed, Others laid the foundation for a Super Bowl. But what's coming next in the 2018 story might just surprise you. Now let's talk about how the rest of the 2018 draft went, because this is where things really started to shape the future of the Buccaneers. We already covered Ronald Jones earlier, a decent back, not a superstar, but had his moments. So what did Tampa do with the rest of those valuable picks they got in the Bills trade? Well, it was a mixed bag, but there were some absolute gems in here. MJ Stewart, pick hash 53 grade, D. The first of the extra second-round picks, MJ Stewart, was a disappointment. No way around it. Taken at 53 overall, he just never found his place in Tampa Bay. He stuck around for a couple of seasons, but never really became a starter, never stood out. In a draft where other teams found starters and stars, this pick just didn't hit. Still, shout out to MJ. He's still in the league, which means he's got talent. It just didn't work out with the Bucs. The Patriots trade, huge win. Here's where things get exciting again. Tampa Bay traded pick 56, part of the Bills deal, to the New England Patriots in exchange for pick hash 63 late second round, pick hash 117 fourth round. What did the Patriots do with hash 56? They took cornerback Duke Dawson, who ended up doing almost nothing in the NFL. But the Bucs, they struck gold. Carlton Davis, pick hash 63 grade. With pick hash 63, the Bucs took Carlton Davis, and this guy changed the entire energy of the Bucs secondary. Davis was exactly what Tampa needed. A tough, aggressive, smart corner who could go toe-to-toe with top receivers. He played through injuries, battled hard, and helped transform the pass defense. He was never the flashiest guy, but he was reliable, physical, and always showed heart. Carlton was a key part of the Super Bowl team, and for that alone, he'll always be a fan favorite. Even though he's now with the Patriots, his legacy in Tampa is solid. One of Jason Licht's best picks. Trade up for a lineman, Alex Kappa, pick hash 94 grade, B+. The Bucs made another smart move in round 3. They traded up with the Vikings, sending picks 102 and 180 to go get offensive guard Alex Kappa at 94. And man, was it worth it. Kappa wasn't a star from day one, but he developed into a rock-solid starter. He became part of a strong offensive line that helped protect Tom Brady and power the run game. For a third-rounder, that's huge value. He later left in free agency for a big contract with the Bengals, and now he's with the Raiders. Still, Kappa gave the Bucs great years. Tough, steady, and reliable. Exactly what you want from a guard. Jordan Whitehead, pick hash 117 grade, B+. Remember that second pick from the Patriots trade? At hash 117, the Bucs selected Jordan Whitehead, a hard-hitting safety out of Pitt. This guy was all heart, played like a missile. Whether it was run support, big hits, or flying around in coverage, Whitehead brought edge to the Bucs defense. He left in free agency for the Jets, but even Jason Licht admitted later, letting him go might have been a mistake. That tells you everything. Whitehead gave Tampa starter-level play on a fourth-round contract. That's how you build championship teams. He might still return one day, and Bucs fans would welcome him with open arms. Day 3 picks, mixed results. Justin Watson, round 5. Pick hash 144 grade, C+. Watson had some special teams value and showed flashes as a receiver. Never consistent, but had some moments. He's still in the NFL now, not bad for a fifth-rounder. Jack Sitchie, around 6. Pick hash 202 grade. A hard-nosed linebacker who sadly dealt with multiple injuries. Most fans remember the brutal elbow dislocation, one of those painful moments that stuck with you. Sitchie had potential, but the injuries just piled up. He never got the chance to truly shine. Final verdict, the 2018 draft. Looking back, the 2018 draft might be Jason Licht's most important up to that point. No, it wasn't perfect. Yes, some picks didn't pan out. But this draft laid the groundwork for something special. Carlton Davis, Alex Kappa, Jordan Whitehead, Vita V, all were key starters when the Bucs lifted that Lombardi trophy just a few years later. This wasn't just a good draft. It was the turning point in the Buccaneers' rebuild. Alright, Bucs fans, now it's your turn. What's your grade for the 2018 draft class? Who was the best pick, and which one still frustrates you? Drop your grades and takes in the comments below. Let's hear from the real fans, the ones who watched these guys develop from day one. And if you've been riding with this team through all the ups and downs. Smash that like button and show your loyalty. Because this was more than a draft, it was the start of a Super Bowl run.